guys, I hope you're well, missing you all lots. So this week I thought we'd have a go at writing some poetry before you all freak out. It's going to be very easy. I'm going to talk you through the whole process, okay? Sometimes when we think about writing poetry that can seem quite hard, and I think that's often because at school in English you were taught a lot of the rules around poetry, and that's really important. It's important to know the rules, why they're there and how they work. But when you're approaching poetry from a creative place, poetry can be many different things that, you will have learned about lots of different types of poems at school, or when you were at school if you're older now. You get narrative prose poems, you get haikus, limericks, you get all sorts of things. And sometimes knowing the rules about those things can help you make creative decisions to break them or to play around with them. And that's kind of what I want to focus on today, is really allowing yourself to play creatively with words and phrases. So what we're going to focus on today is a list poem, which is exactly what it sounds like. A list poem is pretty much just content in a list form. It can sometimes be just a list without any kind of transitional phrasing or anything. Or sometimes it can have more of a kind of poetic flair to it. They don't tend to have any fixed rhyme or rhythm, so you don't have to worry about that, which is useful. And the thing with a list poem is, what becomes important is the order in which things appear. The order in which things appear can give you an insight into additional detail or what the author is trying to explore. So that's kind of the element I really want to focus on today, is how you can be playful with order, which sounds antithetical, but should be fun. I'm going to start by reading you an example of a list poem that I found online. It's called I Remember. I remember their stories. I remember those who were before. I remember what was said, but not how. I remember as often as I can. I remember why I wanted to forget. I remember that song. I remember going nowhere. I remember as if it was tomorrow. I remember the other. I remember when I could. I remember the fifth. I remember being a member. I remember you remembered. I remember the first time. I remember being reminded. I remember how. I remember the touch of your remembering. I reminisce. I remember when it matters. I remember saying it before. I think that's a really nice poem, just as an example of how the order of things in a list poem seem to add up to more than just a list. And that's something that we're going to focus on. What you need in order to do this, which I should have said at the top of the video, and I apologise, you're going to need a piece of scrap paper, a pen or a pencil, whatever you feel comfortable writing with, and a pair of scissors. So make sure this piece of paper is not something that's really important. Make sure it's something that needs to, won't matter if you cut it up. Because I'm going to ask you to have some fun with the order of your poem later. So pause the video if you need to, go get those things, and then when you're ready, come back and hit play. So I want you to start your list poem by writing Remember To. So your title, if you like, is Remember To. And on your page, I just want you to make a list of as many phrases or ideas that can start with that kind of configuration. Now, remember to is quite a cliched or kind of overused phrase. So I want you to try and avoid being really literal. I want you to try and avoid things like, remember to brush your teeth, remember to let the cat out. Because things like that are fun. But today I want to look at how we can be creative with our words and our phrases, and how we can mix things up. When you're writing your list, make sure you leave enough gap, because later on I'm going to ask you to cut them. So make sure it's one singular line. Remember to, remember to, remember to, like down the page, yeah, with some gaps in between. And just try and write as many things as possible. Again, you can pause the video, but before you do, here are some tips. 1, maybe try and avoid literal or cliched things by adapting them. So for example, remember to brush your teeth might become remember to wash your thoughts. I don't know, just change 2 words. Whatever, it's a thing. You could even think about using some rhyming words to help change that up. So remember to brush your teeth might become remember to flush your teeth. These things are all fun and bring to mind gorgeous images, yeah? You could change the verbs. Remember to tidy your teeth. That sounds so nice compared to remember to brush your teeth. Remember to tidy your teeth. Nice bit of alliteration, yeah? And you can use repetition, alliteration, humour, juxtaposing positive things with negative things, yeah? You can also vary the format. If you're like, remember to is really limiting, Carly. Okay, I get it. You can do things like remember how, remember when, remember if, yeah? So it doesn't always have to be remember to if you're really struggling. Don't worry about your ideas, just get them down on the page. Okay, once they're down on the page and you've filled a whole page of stuff, it's where it's time to get crafty. If you are a young person, make sure you're getting some adult help to cut things. If you're older, stay safe, don't run with scissors. So you're just going to cut out every single line on your sheet of paper. And once you've cut out every single line, I want you to spread them out over a table or on the floor. And I want you to have a play with just arranging things around, moving things, yeah? So you might move a line that was at the bottom to the top, yeah? Just keep moving, rearranging, adding things, taking away things. Some of your lines you might be like, this is not very good, I don't like it. Fine, get rid of it. You don't need it. That's okay, yeah? But really play and move everything around until you're happy with what you have arranged. Once you've arranged it, you can either, take a picture of it on your phone and use it that way, or you could write it out again, whatever you feel comfortable with. And here is your challenge. I would like you to take your Remember To poem, practice it, record it, and send it to us. This is a little mini competition. I can't wait to read them. Remember, you can play around with your delivery. Poetry is really designed to be read. Wrong. Poetry is designed to be performed, not read, yeah? So really think about how you can use your voice, your pace, your pitch, your tone, your emphasis, yeah? Think about how you can use your face and your body. You don't necessarily have to do head and shoulders shot. You can be as creative as you like, but just make sure we can hear what you're saying, yeah? And you don't have to learn it off by heart if you don't want to. I read this poem off the sheet. But just remember, if you are doing that it's important to connect with your audience, particularly with poetry, yeah? We're breaking that fourth wall as a performer. So I am using the lens like I would talk to you as a person, and that's kind of the aim, yeah? Good luck. I'm really excited to see them. Remember, it's only a poem. It's not a big deal. Make sure you send all your entries to creative@brillianttheatrearts.co.uk. Looking forward to it. See you guys. Bye-bye.